100,000 subscribers. Now I remember, man, when I started YouTube like 3 years ago, this was the goal. I wanted 100,000 subscribers, but the more I kept making content, it felt like I was never gonna get there. You guys can look at it. I have 1,000 freaking videos, over 1,000 videos. It took me that long just to reach 100,000. So let that be a little life lesson. First of all, is that sometimes, man, you just have to keep grinding. The channel really didn't get much traction until I started doing the walking videos, and then that brought more attention to my other content, helping you guys level up. So I'm very grateful for each and every single one of you guys. And before we even get into the Q&A of this video, I do want to say that I am doing a giveaway. So I'm going to choose 3 winners. You get either a supplement of your choice from my website, kalosique.com, a cosmetic, a piece of clothing, or a Kalos VIP membership. Now, all you have to do is submit a testimonial about how me and my channel has helped you improve your life. Whether I've helped you lose weight, get better with girls, help you Looksmaxx, whatever it is. I want you to make a testimonial, and if you make a video testimonial, you're going to have a much higher chance of actually being chosen, because I love the video testimonials, actually seeing you, actually meeting the people, following my advice. It's freaking sick, man. So I'm grateful for each and every one of you guys. I love you guys with all my heart, as usual. So yeah, man, let's get this Q&A started. First question is, what does Poseidon Blood do? Now, this is a supplement that I sell on kalosique.com. Now, Poseidon Blood, it actually contains different things, like shilajit, which has been known to boost testosterone, pomegranate juice, which is really good for sex drive, beetroot powder, which is really good for nitric oxide to boost the blood flow, especially in certain areas, and then a whole bunch of other stuff. Like, you get probiotics, everything in this blend. It is, in my opinion, one of my favorite supplements on kalosique.com. So that's what Poseidon Blood does. How do I get an ethereal and princess dark triad visual? As a girl, I want to get Final Fantasy. So I almost feel like I kind of evoke this actual type of archetype with my own, obviously, as a man. So you can kind of take that overall vibe. Like, you want to be lean, you want to have the aesthetic, you want to have awesome hair, because obviously the Final Fantasy vibe is all about the hair, and then having more dark triad features, dark eyebrows, dark hair. This is going to be key, but I'm not going to spend too much time on this, since most of you guys watching this are men. What's your favorite Pokemon? Mewtwo, 1000%. Favorite comic book is going to be The Amazing Spider-Man. I actually collected those growing up. I have a big collection of them that I actually travel the world with, just because it kind of reminds me of my childhood, brings that little sense of comfort. Are you still celibate? I remember you making a video about celibacy over the summer. I've always made videos on celibacy ever since I started YouTube 4 years ago, man. Like, I was a semen retention YouTuber whenever I started this, but currently I'm not celibate, for a variety of reasons. But no, I'm not doing the thing and watching the videos. So at the moment, I am not celibate, but I do still think there are a lot of benefits actually to celibacy, retention, and I don't think it's all in your head. Do you have advice for a woman who wants to attract a Chad? So you're a woman, you want to attract a attractive guy. So first of all, let me tell you this. An attractive guy, if you just throw yourself at him, you make it too easy for him to attain, he's not going to take you as relationship material. Typically, like, if you give it up on the first date, he's not going to want to take you seriously. So it kind of depends on what you are going for. You know, like, if you do just want like a one-night stand type of deal, then I would just make it as easy and effortless as possible and just kind of throw yourself in his direction. But if you want a relationship, you want to get married, I would say you want to play the long game. Like, don't give it up the first night. You want to be respectful, very feminine, and obviously it depends on the guy too, you know? You want to mirror the energy, and most importantly, you want to be taking care of yourself, because somebody who is a child, somebody who is more attractive is going to be taking care of themselves. Hopefully, they've got pretty high standards with who they allow into their life. What are the black shoes that you always wear? So I wear a variety of different black shoes. So I wear the Rick Owens Doc Martens collaboration. That's actually my favorite shoe. But maybe you're talking about the black dress shoes, the platforms. Those are just from Zara. Those are like 50 bucks. I also wear black Yeezys. I just got some new Saint Laurents that are black as well. I love black shoes because I get dirt on everything, man. I'm always traveling, doing stuff, and so I don't want white, crispy shoes that are going to get ruined in like a week. How to move on mentally after being bro-zoned? I'm not the expert for that one, man. Do you text first? Now, I actually rarely text first. Typically in my single days, I would always just wait for the girl to text me, and that would make the easiest. I have the same hairstyle and the wind always messes it up. Do you have any tips to avoid this? Not really, personally, man. I mean, the wind's gonna mess it up. Just whenever you get out of the wind, put it back to its original starting place, man. It's just gonna happen. How to discipline yourself after suddenly getting so much attention from girls. Now, this one, it's actually very easy for me. I've gone through big bouts of celibacy retention, and I've been able to avoid girls pretty effortlessly, man. You just want to cut off anything that could potentially lead to you getting distracted with the girls. You want to stay focused on the end result. Like, why are you trying to avoid the girls right now? Why are you trying to discipline yourself? Is it for a better version of yourself? Like, you deserve to go through all these girls, date all these girls, waste all this time, or what's your bank account looking like right now? Like, if you can afford to waste a little bit of time with girls, I wouldn't say that it's a waste of time and you have to discipline yourself fully. But if you're in a position in life you don't have at least 5-6 figures in your bank account, you need to lock in, man. You don't deserve girls. You're going full-blown no-fap retention until your bank account is up. So you gotta be focused on the end result. How do you want to live? What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? The basics. Advice for people who want to pursue modeling. Personally, from my experience in the modeling industry, keep in mind, I've worked with big brands like Polo, Bose, the biggest fashion brands in Thailand. I've had opportunities for really big jobs, really big contracts that I actually turned down for what I'm about to tell you right now. The modeling industry has two options. Option number one, you are broke. You make $100 to $200 for a full day's job. It doesn't really do very well. Or option number two is you do G4P. So that's pretty much what the industry is, man. You got to be willing to give it up if you want to get far in the industry. This is the opportunities that were presented to me, presented to everybody that you look up to. All these role models that you idolize, they are willing to give it up. And if you're willing to give it up, you want to get famous, this could be the industry for you. But if not, you don't swing that way, you're not really into the Diddy type of stuff, I would stay far away from the modeling industry. Favorite movie franchise? Actually, like, I love Star Wars. Star Wars is great, but I think the most coherent, the best storyline is actually the original Harry Potter movies, man. None of the sequels, anything like that, but those movies, the originals, those are probably the best franchise and overall consistent storytelling ever made. Do you track macros? I actually used to obsessively track macros, but for the past year, ever since I converted to carnivore, I stopped tracking macros for a couple reasons. Number one, I know exactly what I eat every single day, so I have the rough ballpark of my macros on a daily basis, and it doesn't really shift too much. So I kind of do know my macros, but I don't obsessively track it. But I also know myself, and more specifically, I know when I'm in a deficit because I tracked my calories for a decade. I tracked when I'm in a deficit. I tracked my protein, fats, and carbs obsessively. So I can literally feel and estimate just based off of that how much I've had. But if you have not been tracking for a decade, you don't know what it feels like to be in a deficit. You don't know what true hunger is versus you just wanting to eat out of habit. Then please do not try to do what I'm doing. You need to be obsessively tracking until you get to your goal weight, and then and only then can you play around with not tracking your macros. Favorite book is The 48 Laws of Power. Do you watch anime, and who was your favorite actor in your childhood? I do not currently watch anime. If a new Dragon Ball movie comes out, I'll watch it. Personally, I don't really watch anything, honestly. But favorite actor? Brad Pitt. I love that guy. Have you ever been hype mogged off camera? So that's just a funny question, man. Just the phrasing. But I have seen people taller than me in public, in Japan. I've noticed a lot of tall foreigners actually travel, especially to Asia. Like, I've seen like some 7-footers, some crazy heights, but that's kind of it, you know. Usually, like I've said, past 6'6", I'm not hating on anybody, but the face usually gets a little distorted, a little bit stretched out. It's very rare where you see someone taller than like 6'6" with regular proportions. I mean, look at basketball, for example. You'll see shooting guards, small forwards, their faces look normal, but then the power forwards and the centers, they look a bit odd. How tall are you at 17? That's whenever I grew from 5'9" to 6'4", so it was changing. At what age and how long have you been Looksmaxxing for? I've said this before. I was one of the original Looksmaxxers. I have been Looksmaxxing since the age of 13. I've been doing bold smashing since before the forums, all this stuff existed. So a very long time. I'm 6'2", but I can't get the girl that I want. What am I lacking? Well, first of all, sometimes you're just not gonna be her type. You know, like, sometimes genuinely, like, you can be the whole package. You can be super attractive, but you might be too attractive. You might be this, you might be that. If a girl doesn't like you, just relax, man. As long as you're doing everything, like you're not overweight, you're not broke, you're not any of the basics as to why a girl would not like you. You don't smell bad, you smell great, you look good, you look handsome, you look sexy. You just need to focus on finding girls that do like you. Don't be hung up on this girl that you want, and I would focus on getting the other girls. And what's going to happen is if you ease up, you start getting other girls, somehow this girl's going to probably want you back. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? One rule you guys should always know: do not tell people your future goals, your future plans, anything. Do you also work? Some people think I'm just like a trust fund baby or something, man. I work like 60 hours a week. I'm always working, man. Monday through Sunday, I'm working. When I travel, I'm still working. I'm not just on vacation all the time like a lot of people think. I rarely actually just chill. Best tips to fix nose without rhinoplastic surgery. Unfortunately, there's not too much you can do. Maybe I'll make a video on like some stretches, stuff like that you can do, but typically the nose is going to be 100% genetic, and if it is messed up, then perhaps consider saving some money and getting the rhinoplasty. How to grow taller, any tips? My brother, I made a whole series on YouTube. I have a whole height growth masterclass in Kalos VIP. I've given you guys everything. Any chance you offer body worship, lift and carry, height comparison for money? No, I do not sell myself for money. Best response to the gay allegations. Best response is no response, man. Like, people are gonna say what they want. You're secretly 5'7". Oh, you know it. You know it. Most important factor: beauty and attractiveness. You guys are gonna hate it. You're gonna hate to hear it. You're gonna hate it. I'm warning you right now. Charisma and confidence. Boom. That's kind of the secret. Like, it's like the hot, ugly guys who girls are obsessed with, but they have like a killer personality. Looks is a good chunk of it, but if you have the looks but no charisma, man, you're not. It's like you're missing that flair, that extra factor. You need the charisma, or it's gonna be hard, man. Who is your biggest inspiration and why? So, if we're talking about life, personality, I always look up to my dad, my brother, because they're the role models, you know, to look up to. But if we're talking about my professional field, it has to be Brandon Carter, because I looked up to this guy growing up. And Brandon Carter, he was the first guy who would just, no BS. I watched his videos. He taught exactly how to build muscle, lose body fat. It kind of made me want to become a YouTuber, do this more for a living. And that guy, he's the GOAT. I'm going to be straight up, man. So if I'm anybody's Brandon Carter out there, I really love you, man. That's sick. Why did you geomax? Well, geomaxing is actually whenever you go to a different country, because women in your country don't particularly like you, so you want to date the local woman. Like a man from America going to Thailand to date the Thailand woman because the American women do not want him. But you're missing one thing. I've never dated any locals in any of the countries I've lived in. I just love Asia. Lean, but the abs not popping. This means that you need to do some heavy weighted abdominal workouts. Austin, what's something most people don't know about you? I collect Yu-Gi-Oh cards. That's going to be the thing that no one really knows about me. What do you eat in a day to gain muscle? Well, for me, 1 pound of beef, 10 eggs, some cheese on top of that, and then maybe some more cheese and just keto snacks on top of that. But that's how I gain muscle, the best I am. That's it for the Q&A, guys. I appreciate all you guys submitting your questions on Instagram. So for the next video that I'm going to do like this, you gotta submit on Instagram. So if you're not following me, go to Austin Wayne Official. Then you gotta follow me on the Instagram, bro. But I love you guys, each and every one of you. I'm sorry lately I can't respond to all your questions, all your comments, because the channel has been growing, man. It's awesome that it's been growing, but it's harder for me to interact with you guys, and we've been getting a lot more hate comments, man. I'm not going to be interacting with that. So if you love the channel, keep sharing, keep supporting, keep hitting that like button. I love you. Peace.